You are anointed.
We live. Where's Behaviour?
Recording.
We live, baby.
We are. We're on the Eastside today, but it's still by the West Behaviour.
By the inside scoop.
Enjoy your tea, guys.
Compliments of the company. Compliments of the season.
Yeah, nah.
We had a ball.
Hey, ho.
But that's West Behaviour thing that you guys do is come.
Oh, wait, you know how it is on the West side. Fuck the East. But I'm just
Gary,
jokes.
you want to
Shout
say
out
that
to
we're
the
coming
East side.
here?
Shout out to the East side.
Just for tonight.
You don't want to start with that. There's no games in the East.
West
Baba.
Coast, East
You
Coast.
say in the East of Johannesburg, watch yourself.
You find
West
your
Coast.
friends are here in the East.
And the own scups are covered in your faces. Let me make you
We must do that on purpose, bro.
Let the own shine on.
Yeah,
Are we here with some new gentlemen? You want to introduce yourself, gents?
do I really want to introduce myself?
No.
They know what it is, bro. They know who I am.
We're not feeling to introduce nobody
They
right
can
now.
see my face.
The
bro.
mysterious men.
Who are these people?
You're lucky I'm not wearing a
Who
mask.
do they look like?
The men in black.
Are they people?
By the triple D.
Am
The
I having
triple
a,
D, yeah.
am I having a psychedelic experience? Is this your reality? Where are you? Come on!
Come out, bro. Come on.
You
Yeah.
want to introduce yourself?
No.
You only got past that.
That is not that type of podcast.
The mystery men.
That is not that type
Okay.
of podcast.
I'll introduce myself. Me, I'm Brother Shalom. I don't know.
Me, I'm your father's uncle.
Oh,
You know. You guys know.
About a bunch of nameless niggas.
Yeah. What do you want to know our names for? Let's think
You
about
know
that.
the beanie, Baba.
Let's think about that.
Do you want to know my name or who
Why
they named
not?
me? Do you want to know my name or who they named me?
Next thing I know, I'm changing my number out
Who
here.
would be?
Oh, yeah, gents. But this man was talking about psychedelic experiences.
They call you out.
Who wants to? Who want to delve into that?
Psychedelic?
Psych.
Psych.
Because, hey, me, I've been fetched by some aliens. Let
True.
me just say that.
You know, today I was thinking.
Me, I traveled with them. They didn't fetch me. They didn't expect to have me along for the ride.
But psychedelics is such a big word because everything that makes you feel lekker. It's like there's a psycho something that happens to you. So anything that affects your mood and makes you feel better is psychedelic. So if you eat bananas, it's lekker. It's a psychedelic.
Yeah. Just say, the fucking,
Psychedelic.
there's what just
That's a good word.
the fucking energy drinks have been making people's hearts fucking stop and shit.
Yeah, of course. Think about it. Nah. If you have heartbeats, say your currency in life is heartbeats. If you finish those heartbeats, then you die.
You say that
So
one
why?
is-
Yeah. So that's like they call it what? Your pacemaker.
But there's no
So
sound.
if you finish your beats. So Aniti, what does that medicine do? That Red Bull makes your heart beat like a bull. So you get living a bull's lifestyle. Then what happens?
The
You
lifestyle
can't
of
live as a bull for too long.
You know
a
what I
bull
mean?
seem
You
pretty
can't
chill.
live
man.
What did they say?
But how long does a bull live?
They say the slower your heart beats, the longer the animal's lifespan. So mice, for instance, have an extremely high heart rate. So they died. I think the lifespan is like 3 days or 5 days or even a week. I know bees.
A fly on, think of a fly. A fly don't even have like a heart on, but that thing's living so fast.
One
that
day
it
lava,
die.
one
Fuck,
day
they'll
fly.
die 2 days.
Yes,
A
sir.
fly don't have a heart.
I don't know if it ever heart, whatever, because insects are different to humans.
But
I
all
don't know
insects
why.
are sentient.
Hey,
So-
big words.
Isn't everything sentient?
Just saying, if it doesn't have a heart, doesn't mean it's not sentient.
Yeah.
But
Do you
on-
believe
Hence
insects?
and plants
Do
sentient.
insects believe in God?
I believe
I don't know.
insects worship God. On.
That's why you must take mushrooms so you can understand that.
I
Yeah,
just
I
know-
advise people
I
that.
just know they operate with God.
Come and tell you, an insect doesn't fly on your car for no reason.
I did vase people one day
Flew into the washer quick.
on a clubhouse thing. I vased them.
Yo.
Animal has more direction in its life than all of you guys speaking here.
Because the animal exists through the natural direction of instinct.
Shout out.
But I feel
Humans
humans
remain
also,
them.
we love natural.
No.
We do what humans naturally do.
No. It is impossible. Impossible.
Why?
Yeah,
Reason
we
being,
do what's
let me tell you why. No.
We do what's
No.
natural to humans.
Let me
No.
tell you why. Let me tell you why. So, if you have to look at the beginning of time, bruh, ever since maybe you even want to talk about Adam and Eve. In Adam and Eve,
There
was a
got
God.
it wrong.
there was
The beginning of time and now is very different.
depending on whatever narrative you want to look at, but there's always going to be nature in that narrative. That element is continuous in history. You
Nature.
can travel it back.
But the thing is, there's a
They-
beginning of time. So, nature exists from the beginning of time. According to a lot of these physicist views, me, I'm not a physicist, but there's two streams of physicists to say there's like this multiverse that universes are popping in and out of, and there's this like
Technical shit.
the universe when the universe began, everything began, meaning time began.
So
So to
check
ask
here.
what happened before time began is a illogical question.
Oh.
So nature only exists at
Bars.
this point where time began on.
So-
So what do we know about
That's
anything
why I
else
say,
besides nature?
What is ever relevant to your time when it comes to history? Whatever you find relevant. Let us take that. From that time, nature was always existed. And if you think about that, you must know animals was always existent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you take
No,
those
no,
two,
no. Because
you
when
might say no.
beginning of time, there was other shit on, not animals.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
There was animals.
Like molecules and shit, bruh.
I
Like
don't
fucking
want hydrogen.
the thing is
Ah,
the
that
big
thing's like-
head, the big
that thing's
bang
an
is
animal.
shit like this explosion happens, but it's not really explosion, it's a big expansion from one point. And eventually shit evolved to the point where the planet could sustain life.
So are you
But
talking
before
about-
that there was like stars, planets, there are many planets without life on
Do you
it.
think dinosaurs were there before the Big Bang?
Stars are animal.
Me,
Some of the fossils that they are finding, bruh.
yeah, but
so-
to say, you can't say there was a time when there was always animals. There was a time before animals.
I would
Plants
like
are
to
older
believe-
than animals.
So this is the reason I say there's a plant. There's a time there was
Nah.
always animals.
Genesis.
I disagree.
Let me
Time began when man came. There was no concept of time before
Fucking
man.
shut up. I think also.
It
So-
depends on your
When
definition of
man
time.
came,
There were seasons.
man is an
like-
animal. So when man came, there was animals from the beginning of time.
Has there
Because
always-
time just began for men. So, but the thing is,
Yeah.
we named this thing, didn't it exist before us? Or whatever this thing is that we named on. We just observed that cycles
Yeah, I
happen
was in a taxi
and we can
yesterday.
count it on.
Me,
Hey.
I didn't have my phone. I was phoneless. My phone was off for the whole day. I didn't bother about my phone. This man he asked me, "What's the time?" I mentioned I don't know. This man look at me. He went, you know the time. Why don't you want to ask me? You know what I mean?
Everyone wanted
it is
to
so
go off your
relevant to our existence. No.
Show me your phone, man.
I was the only one in the taxi. There was only me and him.
Let's make it more suspect.
I said, "Nah, nah."
Might you want to wish you I take my number there? Say once a time.
Call
That's
me
what
up
you do.
I
sometime.
wouldn't be surprised. Me, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, but the story about our Genesis
Ah,
has many things. Some say we come from the river, some say we come from the mountains. But the idea is that wherever we come from, has to come. It had to start.
wherever we come from, had to become.
No,
Had to become.
I thought that's what you
Hey,
said.
that's even in that one. Whatever we
Me, I-
come from, we have to become.
Me, I say
Oh.
we came from.
Ah.
Had to be
Had
come.
to become.
Shut up.
You choose how you want to take it. You choose how you want to take it.
But
That one is
I know-
level.
and I
That
know.
one is level.
How do you wanna
No, no.
take it?
To the simple mind perverted. To the other mind. Levels. There's levels to this.
But me, I believe we came from nothing, bro.
It continues.
Live, man. Live, I believe we came from nothing. A womb, a empty space.
Why do we call it whom? Because when we ask about somebody we don't know, we say, whom am I talking to?
Good
I
one.
say, no, I'm just
Good
saying,
one.
see the guy.
English.
Facts.
English.
Whom?
Factual.
English.
Whom is an unknown. But my brother
Yeah.
is a name.
Oh, it could be because when we see our life partner, we
What
say,
you say? When we see our life partner.
Oh, did you say sweet or
What?
sweet?
it depends what you want to do.
Sweet.
Sweetie, my baby.
Yeah.
Me, I want some chai tea.
Nice one.
Just please boil the kettle there, lad. Hey,
I'm glad I see you guys on your best
top
behavior.
of the morning.
The best behavior, not the worst behavior.
But I see this always
Always
is
behavior
nervous.
is about gentlemanship, you know? We're gentlemen.
Yeah, we here by the Jahman song.
Yeah, you know?
Rastafari. You must actually play some
Simple.
Rasta music, bro. Should have a Rasta minute.
I thought,
That's unlicensed music.
so we're not allowed to play
Selassie.
music at all, bro.
No. It's not licensed.
It's not that type
Give
of
me your
party.
license.
You know, you see, some people are for art and some people are for money. You know,
Straight
You're
up.
blocking Lolo, bro.
Oh, man. How can you do that to me?
away. You see,
Now
some
you
people.
blocking me, bro.
Yes.
Go
Say
with
it
that.
I mean-
bro. I'm joking.
Get a scooch down.
You're blocking no one, bro.
Because cover this thing I was thinking of today on.
It's here?
There was this. Remember Niles Barkley one?
Yeah.
Then-
Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? Who think you are?
Yeah, that track. So they was two ones, the singer and the producer.
Now and Barkley.
Yeah, I think so. Whatever the fuck, CeeLo, and I don't know the producer's name. I forgot his name. CeeLo and Stitch. I just respect the nigga, son. But this man on, he took. Ah, fuck you guys, son.
Little Stitch.
I disrespect the nigga.
You guys must have one day we should do the best of the Western game and the best jokes.
You said that was the best.
Yeah, those are the best. But it's never say
We
one.
must run a
Compilation. We can round him up.
compilation of the best jokes.
You know, after every 10 episodes, so these are 10 best episodes. 10 best jokes of the season.
Jokes of the season.
Jokes of the season. Sorry, bro. You were saying, my king.
Yeah. So this man.
CeeLo and Stitch.
Yeah. So this producer, he took the Beatles' White album and Jay-Z's Black album and he mashed it together and he made this compilation called the Grey album. You
That's
see?
crazy.
And then they fucking sued the shit out of him. So I mean, advise us on for the art one. That man made something cock now and then they sued the shit out of this nigga. And, you know,
Sherman. Quite extreme. I think.
Don't be disillusional with these times. It's about the challenge. Always.
It always reminds me of that one question. When will intellectual property become biological?
what does that mean?
Meaning, when will people take a piece of your sneeze and have the ability to manufacture a product out of that and then earn money from
They
that
did
and
that.
not even waste you nothing?
With Michael Jackson's glove.
On
They did all of that.
Belle Delphine spit in a bottle and fucking Sally sold a bathwater, sold a person.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, they do.
You know Belle Delphine?
No.
She's just like, she's sexy. Whew. But anyway, this internet hard on, she makes porn too.
Apparently the golden shower is a
She's
thing now.
like, but she never used to. She started as a YouTuber and she sold a spit. Spit in a bottle.
That one,
and sell
that's
it.
medieval times.
The golden
The
shower.
golden shower.
Yeah. Hectic. But I'm just saying, to say, so if people
So
steal your
that's that
idea
thing.
or people steal you, it's worse.
Yeah, to say clone you. Is that what you're saying?
Don't even clone, just take a bit of you and capitalize on it.
People
What?
have been doing that.
But they
What
sell
about the
kidneys.
Michael Jackson
They sell kidneys.
That's why I say, now back to the question, the idea of like taking someone's intellectual property, like their album, and creating something new and having capital gain over that thing.
There's people that get capital
How-
gain of someone's
That's why I
image.
say, guys, if you have to be honest, for the listeners, guys, capitalism is messed up, and I think that's why I like the basis of this. That's why I make features. I don't always make features, but because of this thing being a non-profit video, I enjoy the idea that I can feature. but on truth to say, yeah, capitalism is shit, guys. If you think about it, there's no way that you can live a human life. That's by base to the initial question. There's no way we can be human if we live in capitalism, because capitalism works at every moment, biologically, physically, spiritually, to sort of break the human experience. We can't share because there's no capital gain. Because I always think, what's in it for me? We can't love because why I have to protect my love. My love is like wealth. I don't want to give it all. I can't.
Is bartering capitalism?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
To extent.
Yes, then that's
Because
a-
it's
that's
not every economic system is capitalism. But me,
Yeah.
I wanted to ask this man, isn't everything the human experiences the human experience? Whether it's capitalism, anything a human experience is the human experience.
Nah.
You see.
Yeah.
Depends
How can
which
it not
day
be?
they do.
It's
I
a
say
difference
the day
between-
and age.
it's a
Because
difference
of the
between
day and
nature.
age.
It's a difference between nature and nurture. That's the difference between what we're experiencing versus the original experience. You know,
If you look at, for
you see the
instance,
difference between nature and nurture.
look at, for instance, the way
Yeah.
one travels. Back, we don't even have to go too far back, bruh. You used to go visit your friend via a walk or a bicycle or a skateboard, whichever preference you used to want to use.
Skateboard.
You know what I mean? Even maybe a taxi. Bruh, now a grade 8 child, grade 7 child can leave their parents' house, taking an Uber, going to wherever they want to
Yeah.
go.
Because times
How-
are advancing.
But would you say that's the human experience? Would you say
Yes.
that's something
Yeah.
natural?
That's a human experience.
I don't
yeah.
believe so.
I say when
Yeah.
I say when it's no more a
Progress is
human
a
experience. I say when it's no more a human experience is when we fucking implant body parts that are mechanical
So-
into our bodies. Because then we a cyborg.
Okay.
No
Can
more
I ask-
human.
can I ask
So now it's a
one thing?
cyborg
Before I get this
experience.
out of my mind,
You
can I
know?
ask one thing? So would you justify the human experience based on what society thinks is commonly right?
I said everything a human experiences is the human experience.
On that.
Whether it's right or wrong.
You said, and quote, and please disagree with me if I'm wrong, but you said if anything mechanical influences with your biology, and yes, Mike might have used that word, it's void of the human experience.
It's
Correct.
now if you
Or
I don't
wrong?
know, we'll have to go into what's a cyborg because that's
But
what
for
I'm
you,
saying.
let's say
Because also if it's like an arm, if I've got a robot arm, I'll say that's still a human. I think once you've got maybe a robot mind, that's when it's now you no more.
okay,
human.
that's a good one. Let's run with that. So, if mechanics influences your thinking, if the robot influences the way you think, like you say, and you have somewhat of a human mind, I mean a robot mind because of the mechanics and the, let's say the aesthetic. Let's
You
call
can
it
punch.
wait, let me finish. So, let's say, let's say the world, the architecture of the world is mechanical. So this has mechanical influence on your mind. You know what I mean? So now your brain, because we're adaptive creatures, we adapt because we want to fit in. We actually need to fit in to survive. You know what I mean? So us adapting to not only each other but the environment means we now adapt to a mechanical mind. Meaning our mind is no longer human. The machine has infiltrated the organism. You know what I mean? And we don't know if this machine is a regenerative machine or is it a pathogen? Is it like a virus that expresses itself to the point of its death? So that's why I say, I think for me, we don't have a human experience.
Is that
because
AI though? Because now when I talk about it, I feel like there's machinery like cars and shit.
I'm talking about marketing. Simple. The root of capitalism is marketing.
Yeah.
And that's also the element of it. Because as soon as you want to do something that you naturally don't want to do, and that you can do because you want to fit in. So if all of us are wearing red hoodies, you have a natural desire to want to fit in, my king. And if I advertise to you a blue hoodie, you're not going to buy. But if I advertise to you a red hoodie in a society where everybody's wearing red hoodies, trust me, my marketing strategy will work. You know what I mean? So it's like that idea, that's manipulation, that's
But
specific
I feel like
manipulation.
human does a lot of things that we don't want to do. Whether it's capitalism or not.
No,
It's
I'm
just
saying,
part of
how
being a
much of
human.
it? How much
Even
of
if
it?
we live a natural life. I don't want to fucking chop down a tree, but if I don't, I can't make a fire, man. You
True.
know?
So how many of us are making those decisions in that context, and how many of us are making the decision in the context of that unconscious mind where we just walk through life as zombies, and every 5 moments we wait for the next sensation, or the next advert, or the next thing. Think about it.
Some sensations, they come because you need them. For instance, hunger. You want to make a fire because you're hungry, depending on which situation you are. You know what I mean? There's basic human desires that you get that just that come through the natural form. But now you want to fucking wear a Yeezy. You want to wear a Yeezy. Or you get to choose the privilege of choosing if you want to wear a Yeezy, a Nike, Adidas based on a fashion statement.
Overeating. Over a biological need to eat. The mere fact that we are biologically even trained to hold our nature of taking a piss and taking a shit over the needs of someone else. That could be the needs of a teacher, the needs of a superior, the needs of even our parents and each other. Because where I would say, no, blow and chill. I'd rather keep my piss, I'd rather injure my body, I'd rather sort of resist my nature in order to please my nurture.
Because now the problem comes to, how do I piss? Do I either go piss outside in the...
Or piss your pants.
Yeah, imagine. I can
Piss your pants,
I can go to someone's...
Or piss on a human like R. Kelly.
Or just piss outside. I can get fucking shouted at for pissing outside. As a natural way that I think is a human being, but I can get shouted at for doing it that way. So like just... Where the fuck do you stand when it comes to the natural form of how a human should live?
Is my Tani a machine or is my Tani a human?
Can I just have a normal piss without being branded Adidas?
You know what I mean? Because so much of our life is influenced. I talk about simple my nature. Now when you, as somebody like thinking a lot about like the idea of birthing and pregnancy and stuff like that, I was like thinking even the idea of our birth is manufactured. Speaking on that idea of genesis of time and genesis of our creation, like even our birth is manufactured. The mere fact that we first get into a system, we get into a lab before we get into our mother's arms. We get touched with gloves and rubber and chemicals before we get touched by the human. That's where you know there's infiltration between the human experience and the mechanical experience. There's no way that you can have birth.
But only humans make mechanics on. That's why I say that's
No,
part of
no.
the human experience.
And that is where we have to make clear. That's where we have to make clear experiences that are very different.
Back to the hospital.
It's scary. As much as what I spoke about, all of us can be sensitive to say, yes, there is something different about what I'm doing and what I'm thinking while I'm doing. You know what I mean? There's a clear difference between your mechanical mind and taking a shit. Mechanics says we have to be clean, neat, and clear. When I take a shit, that thing is messy.
Our mechanics came in there, otherwise you're going to shit yourself.
Exactly. But why?
The biological mechanics step on.
Yo.
The human technology.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how much of our life is crafted around that, and how much of our life is crafted around somebody else crafting what it is?
I feel humans are always affected by others.
Are we
We're
alone?
social creatures.
Are we alone?
English.
When the fucking creatures are out here, I seen fucking people that look like fucking reptilians. Niggas always think I'm tripping. Me, I see the shapeshifters.
I've seen you acting like a reptilian, bruh.
Me, I am a reptilian. I am a reptilian. What come
I
and
was
face
disgusted.
Huh?
I said, I've seen you turned on by a reptilian.
But Jens, on that shit, we buy the last now one. We must play a track out there.
This is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
Time's up, guys. It's always
That's what a young jam there.
always happens.
West Behaviour.
Always
West in the east, you know.
West is.
In the east side of your...
You can be better, but you can't be west.
Watch out. Watch out.
That's
Watch out or west out.
Take me away. Some classical.
Shut up.
Some classical.
That was
Thanks for Michael.
Put it here, bro.
Oh,
I
wait.
never knew. I was a bit nervous.
Run it back.
Just crop him out. Just crop him. Glitch.
I will edit it.
The west side.
Michael Franks. Shout out to Michael Franks.
Yeah, perfect. By the outro. Hey, what is smoking? Out.
West in the East. It's better vibes.
W&E.
We better Jahmans tonight.
Good morning. Haile Selassie. Oh shit.
You know when they have that outburst where they just start laughing.
On the news.
Oh.